Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is ending with Season 5, and there's only one thing I'm glad about regarding this development. After a 2-year wait, the highly anticipated Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3 premieres July 17 on Paramount+. In 2024, Paramount Plus renewed Star Trek: Strange New Worlds for Season 4, which is currently in production. Season 5 will now close out the hit Star Trek prequel with a shortened 6-episode season, which will begin filming in late 2025. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds' now formalized 5-year mission falls in line with other Star Trek on Paramount Plus series trajectories. Star Trek: Discovery and Star Trek: Lower Decks both ended with their 5th seasons in 2024, whereas Star Trek: Picard was always planned for only 3 seasons, and Star Trek: Prodigy moved to Netflix to stream its 2 seasons. It's unusual to know when Strange New Worlds will end so far ahead of time, especially when Season 3, which is now the midpoint of the series, hasn't even premiered yet. The fate of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, as well as the other Star Trek on Paramount Plus series, is a result of the changing nature of streaming and the sale of Paramount Global to Skydance Media. Longtime Star Trek fans grew accustomed to the 7-year runs of Star Trek: The Next Generation and its 1990s spin-offs. While it's gloomy to know that Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has already set its endpoint, there's one big advantage to Paramount Plus' plan, as well. I'm glad Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has time to plan its ending. Strange New Worlds knows its endgame. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds executive producers and co-showrunners Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers now have the benefit of planning out how their prequel will end. After Strange New Worlds Season 3, Goldsman and Myers know they have 16 episodes to wrap up Strange New Worlds saga. What's more, Strange New Worlds' endpoint has been known since its inception. Strange New Worlds ends when Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, turns over command of the USS Enterprise to Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, which is when Star Trek: The Original Series begins. In Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, the crew of the USS Enterprise is now at the midpoint of their journey to becoming who they are in Star Trek: The Original Series. Lieutenant James T. Kirk, Paul Wesley, is learning the finer points of Starship Command. Lieutenant Spock's, Ethan Peck, explorations of his human emotions will eventually lead him to fully embrace Vulcan logic. Ensign Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, is gaining confidence and agency, while Scotty, Martin Quinn, is on the verge of falling in love with the Starship Enterprise. Even more intriguing than the known destinies of Star Trek: The Original Series legacy characters is what happens to the people who won't remain aboard Captain Kirk's USS Enterprise. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds will canonically explain the fate of Lieutenant Commander Una Chin Riley aka Number 1, Rebecca Romin, and what happens to Lieutenant Lauren Noonien Singh, Christina Chong, and Lieutenant Erica Ortigas, Melissa Navia. With its 5-season plan in place, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds not only has a roadmap but also knows how many steps until the show's endgame. What happened to Star Trek: Discovery won't happen to Strange New Worlds. Discovery planned to run for 7 seasons. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds' assurance that it will end in Season 5 spares Captain Pike's prequel from the misfortune that befell Star Trek: Discovery. In early 2023, Star Trek: Discovery's cast and crew learned that the series would end with Season 5 after production of the 5th season ended. To offer Star Trek: Discovery a more graceful way to end the series, Paramount Plus allowed for 3 extra days to film a 12-minute epilogue to wrap up Captain Michael Burnham's, Sonequa Martin Green, saga. Star Trek: Discovery's series finale, Life Itself, became an extra-long episode that wrapped up Captain Burnham's pursuit of the progenitor's ancient technology before leaping ahead 30 years to give Burnham and the USS Discovery's crew a poignant conclusion. While it wasn't ideal, especially considering Star Trek: Discovery was preparing for Season 6 and even expected a Season 7, Discovery achieved a graceful exit despite its limitations. Thankfully, Paramount Plus learned from its mistake with Star Trek: Discovery and gave Star Trek: Strange New Worlds plenty of notice as to when its show will end. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds' final season can also become more of an event, since the popularity of Captain Pike's series eclipses Star Trek: Discovery's. Announcing the end of a hit series in the middle of its run while offering 2 more seasons is an eyebrow-raising move by Paramount Plus, but it's worlds better than what was offered to Star Trek: Discovery. What a short final season means for Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. The final season could mean bigger episodes. Unlike Star Trek: Discovery and Star Trek: Lower Decks, however, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds isn't ending with a full 10-episode final season. For reasons unexplained, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 5 will only be 6 episodes, giving the series a total of 46 episodes overall. Comparatively, Star Trek: Lower Decks had 50 episodes, while Star Trek Discovery ran for 65 episodes, since its early seasons were more than 10 episodes, because the show was initially co-financed by Netflix for international distribution. While unconfirmed, there is a chance Star Trek Strange New World Season 5 could have extended episodes, breaking the show's usual hour-long format. At the very least, fans are hoping Star Trek Strange New World series finale will be feature-length. If this happens, Strange New Worlds would provide new airs-out Star Trek streaming movies, since there has been no movement by Paramount Plus to develop new Star Trek streaming movies after the release of Star Trek Section 31 in January 2025. But all good things must come to an end, and this includes Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers used to muse that Strange New Worlds could be a 10-year show, and they recently teased their hopes to keep going and tell stories about Captain Kirk's Starship Enterprise with Strange New Worlds cast. The silver lining is that Star Trek Strange New Worlds still has 3 seasons and 26 episodes to come, and that's worth looking forward to.